Let's go to Sunday, if you will. Let's turn our attention to the Kings Plate card at Woodbine, where multiple stakes races are on the program on Sunday at Woodbine. And we've also got a $10,000 hit and split promotion when you bet with First Bet and Xpressbet Sunday at Woodbine. $5,000 added to the late pick 5 pool, which includes the Kings Plate, $250,000. Or $2,500, I should say, added to the early pick 5 and the late pick 4. So between those 3 promos, $10,000 in the hit and splits. Again, $5,000 to the late pick 5, $2,500 to the early pick 5, as well as the late pick 4. So get your opinions set up and you'll get returned more money than you would playing with anybody else when you play our hit and splits on Sunday at Woodbine. All right, Jeff, Kings Plate day. We're going to get started with our handicapping in the Bold Venture Stakes. And you're taking a horse named Patches O'Houlihan. Who's Patches O'Houlihan?
Everybody knows who Patches O'Houlihan is. He was the name of the coach. Now, Rip Torn played the role, but he was the coach in Dodgeball, who everybody probably have seen at least 25 times because it's on HBO every other day. But Patches O'Houlihan was the character that Rip Torn played in. He coached the team, the Dodgeball team, to victory, and Vince Vaughn and that group. But anyway, this version of Patches O'Houlihan is pretty good. Now, he's tackling older horses for the first time in this 6.5 furlong Grade 3 event. So it's going to be tougher. But on numbers, he's a fit. He's won his last 4 in a row. His numbers continue to rise. He continues to do it in style. And while this is a tougher task for sure, I don't know when this horse is going to stop leveling off. He just keeps getting better and better and better. He somehow managed to get beat in the second start. Other than that, he's perfect, 5 out of 6, and I think he can continue to be perfect in this race. And he is listed at 3-1, which I think is a decent price.
Let's go back and take a look at him in the Lake Superior Stakes. And no matter how fast you can throw, you're not going to hit Patches O'Houlihan.
Blue Chairman, they're sticking on. Pulana T's not doing enough at the moment in the center. And last, Sooner Luna, Patches O'Houlihan hasn't been tested whatsoever. Out by 4 or 5 lengths. And this has been really almost, I would say, embarrassing for the others. Patches O'Houlihan's won by 7 lengths and could have gone round again and may well do in the next start. Patches O'Houlihan by 9. One by Hemingway second. Sooner Luna.
Geller speed shaming the rest of the field there, saying it was almost embarrassing with the call. Patches O'Houlihan, Jeff's standout play in the Bold Venture Stakes. That's race number 7 on Sunday, the Kings Plate card at Woodbine. Let's go to the 9th race on the card, the Dance Smartly, named for the brilliant filly. 1991, she was at the top of her game, and a brilliant filly, Moira, is in this one as well. She was last year's Queen's Plate winner, Jeff, runner-up in the E.P. Taylor, and then disqualified for the interference. She's one of the top fillies in Canada over the past couple years. Moira stepping up against older horses now as a 4-year-old, though. Hasn't had the success at 4. She's 0 for 2 with a couple good second-place finishes. One of those behind Fev Rover, who's turned out to be pretty darn good. Fev Rover winning the Beverly D last week. Do you like Moira in the Dance Smartly, or are you going to go somewhere else?
I'm going to go somewhere else. I like Moira. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I just don't know if she's as good on grass as she is on all weather. Maybe she is, and I guess we'll find out here. This is her chance. No disgrace for sure. Although at the time it was when she got beat. Odds on when Fev Rover beat her, but Fev Rover is going to beat a lot of fillies this year. I can tell you that. So maybe that being a little bit too harsh. She's obviously the one to beat, but I'm looking at a lightly raced. Yes, I know, Chad Brown, filly vanning up from Saratoga. It's up. I think it's this way, right? Anyway, wherever. She'll get there. Maybe it's down.
A little bit west. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Salima is a filly, an Irish-bred filly who has won 3 out of her last 4. Now, I remember her because she was out here at Santa Anita back in December. She was all the rage when she was favored in the American Oaks. And she didn't run as well as we all thought. She made the lead that day. I'm not sure that's really the way she wants to run. Found herself on the front end and got run over. And then we didn't see her for 6 months. So maybe she came out of the race a little banged up. But anyway, she came back in a very good allowance race, I thought, and was, to me, very impressive. And I think she can take that win and step up in class and maybe win this race at a Grade 2. They think the potential is there. And she's already a stakes winner and doesn't have to prove herself. Numbers-wise, she's fast. So I think based on the race I saw at Saratoga, I think Salima can step up and win this race.
All right, Jeff's pick there in the Dance Smartly Stakes. Yeah, I've made that drive actually from Saratoga to Woodbine, going across the northern tier of New York there, passing through Rochester and places like that, Syracuse along the way as you make your way over. I think it was a family day in Saratoga, a family weekend, and then we had a fan education event for the Queen's Plate. So that would have probably been late June back in the day. Oh, I don't know, 8-10 years ago. But I've made that drive. You definitely go west from Saratoga.
Yeah, I know that part. I don't know if you go up or down.
Yeah, you go up slightly, I think, eventually, by the way the crow flies. Let's move to the King's Plate main event on Sunday at Woodbine. This is $1 million race for 3-year-olds foaled in Canada. A lot of folks like to say it's the Canadian version of the Kentucky Derby. It's the first leg of the Triple Crown. It's 1.25 miles. It's the prestigious pomp and circumstance race that they have at Woodbine each and every year. And, man, we've got 17 runners in the main body of the field. That's the capacity gate size. 2 also eligibles as well. So a very good shot. We are starting this thing with 17 horses, Mr. Siegel. So we know it's going to be a good betting opportunity. And this is a year where there's not just a standout kind of favorite, I don't think, in the plate. I mean, there's not a horse. Calic for Chad Brown won the Pennine Ridge, is the 3-1 morning line favorite. This is not a year where there's just like a dominant winner of the plate trial, a dominant winner of the Marine, the local preps that you're looking to just run roughshod over this race. So I think we can get creative.
Yeah, I don't know why Kalick does. I don't know. He doesn't have to win. I mean, he won a couple of races, but they were both gate to wire. I don't know whether that necessarily is going to be his kind of trip against a field that has other horses in there that may want to go with him early. But there was one horse that really caught my eye, and I don't know, maybe this is projecting too much, but I was around Shared Belief a lot before he ever became Shared Belief, and because he was sent to Northern California, was in Jed Josephson's barn. I had horses with Jed and would watch him train, and I'm saying, this horse looks like a little better than your normal Golden Gate maiden to me.
Right.
They didn't give much for him. He was a candy ride gelding. Won his first start by a pole, ran 9 and change, earned an incredible number, was privately purchased thereafter, and then the rest was history.
Right.
Touch and Ride may not be Shared Belief, but looking at him, it looks like a throwback, because here's a horse who was third in his debut at 15-1. Nobody thought of anything. And then he comes back and he earns a 91 Byron number when he stretches out to 1 mile and 1/16. And wins for fun and looks like, wow, I mean, this horse could be for anything. Now he goes from a maiden race to the King's Plate, and he's 12-1. And I don't know how good this horse is, but I know one thing. He's already got numbers that are better than most of the field. And I think the way Touch and Ride ran, and if he just builds on that race, if he improves just a little bit at 1.25 miles, maybe he'll run nowhere. But, man, I tell you what, 12-1 for a horse like that, I think he's got a chance to pull off an upset based on that visually very impressive maiden win that took place over the same track in Woodbine, the all-weather, just last month.
Those candy rides have long loved the synthetics, no matter where they were and what brand they were. And it's no surprise to see Touch and Ride improve on that. How much did he improve from first start to second? Let's take a look.
Got out in front, but Touch and Ride's coming alive. Touch and Ride, 1.5 lengths away as Ottawa is boring out as they turn, drifting away from the inside. Touch and Ride giving chase. Back in third, Legal Catch. Down the stretch in front, Ottawa. And now switching course, Touch and Ride. Touch and Ride coming fast on the outside. Ottawa in deep water here. Touch and Ride on the outside, ranges up. And Touch and Ride, who looked $1 million in the post parade, is coming clear. Touch and Ride, 1.5 lengths, 2.5, 3.5. Keep adding. Touch and Ride wins by 4 lengths. Ottawa second, Legal Catch third, and Rapper Zappa was fourth, and the time 1:37.56.
Touch and Ride in the King's Plate on Sunday at Woodbine. I give a shot in here to the 15. You don't get to say that often. Smarty Jones wore the 15, so that could be a good sign. His name is Kakakepu. You've got to pronounce that one either really fast or really slow. I did not wear the Hawaiian shirt today in honor of this pick. It just kind of worked out that way. But Kakakepu is my top choice in here. Runner up in the Marine Stakes. That's open company in the Marine. Now back against the horses that are foaled and sired in Ontario there at Woodbine. The only time this horse ran in stakes company against restricted runners was the Queenston Stakes and rallied to win that one nicely over 7/8 of a mile. The mile and a quarter is a bit of a question for sure, but out of a Mizzen Masked Bear and a Mr. Speaker as the sire, there's a chance they could get the distance here. Taking a little bit of a shot. I'm not wild about 6-1 in the morning line. I expect to get a little bit more of a price on that one, but Kakakepu is going to be the one I take in the King's Plate, but I want closer to 10-1. The connections don't win a lot of huge races for sure. Rico Walcott, the jockey, one of the top jockeys in Western Canada for decades. If you're used to playing like Hastings and the Western Canada tracks like that, you've known Walcott for a long time. He's saddled up at Woodbine here during the course of this year and finally getting a chance in the Queen's Plate, King's Plate, with a real chance in there. So I'll go with Kakakepu in a race that could go a lot of different ways. Mark Cassie's had success in this race with fillies over the years. He's got the filly Elysian Fields coming off the Woodbine Oaks. Of course, last year, Moira won this race coming out of the Woodbine Oaks for Kevin Attard. Kevin's got, I believe, 4 horses in the main body and a 5th on the also eligible list, so he could go back-to-back in this race. A lot of different ways to look. Be sure to check out all the handicapping selections. We'll have more for you on Sunday on our website for Woodbine. Woodbine's big day on Sunday, of course, for the King's Plate. So a lot cooking there, Jeff. And hitting splits, $10,000 worth of them in the late pick 4 and pick 5. With a 17-horse field as part of the late pick 4 and pick 5, you're almost assured that we're looking at a lot of people stretching out on tickets, which are going to help the prices in those multi-race wagers.